A year ago, if one of my videos got 10 views, I would think it was a failure. I'd refresh the YouTube studio over and over and over again and wondering, why do people not watch this video? And every time a video flopped, I would question myself, should I even keep going? But after posting over 100 videos, I realized something. Those low views weren't the problem. They were actually the reason why I got better. Every awkward intro, every thumbnail that nobody clicked on, these were all teaching me something that I would have never ever learned any other way. In fact, I want to share with you the lessons that I've learned while going through this process. So, let's get into it. The first thing is you have to fall in love with the process. When I first started making videos, I got 0 to 5 views per video. I've shared this a lot of times. But when you get those kind of views, it can be difficult to fall in love with the process. You put your heart, sweat and tears into one video and it ends up getting 5 views. It's very hard for you to fall in love with the process, even though it's kind of enjoyable to make those videos. But after getting 10 videos, 20 videos or 30 videos that all get less than 10 views, it can be difficult. But when you start to forget about the views and just try to focus on making the best video, what ends up happening is you're going to fall in love with the process a lot more. I know I've had this happen to me where the first videos were difficult to make. Not the very first one, because those are fun. You're excited about starting a new project, but after you make 10 or 20 videos, it can be difficult. But once you start to fall in love with the process, views are still important. I'm not going to say they're not. I still to this day check my views, but they become less important. It's more about making the best video that can help the people that you're sharing the video with. So people starting YouTube, for my example. Once you start to fall in love with the process, it's going to become easier and easier to make the videos. But on top of that, it's going to make better videos, because you're not making videos from a place of, I need this to work, I need this to get views. Even though it's nice, you want to get the views, but it's not as important as it was when you first start, and when you shouldn't, because at the beginning you're not getting views. So focus on just enjoying the process, and once you start doing that, it's going to be more enjoyable, but also you're going to make way better videos. It's also going to build mental toughness. I've talked about this in other videos, but sometimes your videos flop. I actually had my last video that was out. I'm not sure if it won't be the last when you watch this video, but the last one at the time of filming this, I put out a video that's a 9 out of 10. And not long ago, I had a video that was my most viewed video on my YouTube channel. So sometimes when you see a video that flops, it's harder to make the next one, because you feel like it's not working, you're not getting the views. But really, if you start to make that video anyway, and you start to make it as perfect or as best as you can, not as perfect, because videos aren't meant to be perfect, they're not going to be perfect, but the best video that you can make. Try to be happy about making the video before you actually film, because if you start filming and you're like, I don't want to film this video, but whatever, I have to film. See, it's not enticing. People don't want to watch that video. But if you're excited about watching the videos, don't overhype yourself. Don't be like, oh, I'm so happy about this, I'm so excited. Don't sound fake, but really genuinely be excited about filming the video, just like I'm doing now. I'm actually excited to share this video with you. Even though my last video flopped, it's going to build mental toughness, because you're like, okay, last video wasn't great, could still take off, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to film my next video, and it's going to be as good as I can make it. I'm going to help as much as possible in this video. When you do that, it builds mental toughness, and the next time that happens, it's not as hard to film your next video. When I had a video that flopped a while back, it was super hard. Like filming my next video, I didn't want to do it. because I felt like I was doing it for nothing. It's easy when you have a video that goes well, and it might not be to some people because they want to replicate the success of that last one, and you always do, especially if you're getting engagement and comments and subscribers and, you know, people are enjoying your content. You want to keep that momentum going, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. And for me, the hardest part is making videos when my last video flopped, which is the case when I'm filming this video. Even though it's harder to get myself to film, once I get in front of the camera, that's the fun part of like filming a video. Like, I'm happy about filming this video. It's not a chore. Sometimes it's quite hard to get yourself to film, but once you start, like, I press record and I'm super stoked on making a video. So it builds mental toughness because you do have to get yourself to film even when you don't want to, but it becomes easier and easier even when videos are hard. Like, it didn't take me that much effort to film this video, even though my last one flopped. The next thing that I want to talk about is improving yourself, and it can be difficult sometimes to understand, like, what do I improve on, but really it's all about watching your videos and getting with somebody that's in the same, like, has the same interest as you. So YouTube in this case. If you're trying to film a YouTube video and you don't know what to improve, like, get somebody that knows something about YouTube. Maybe that's 1 or 2 steps ahead. You don't have to find this crazy expert, but just find somebody that can point out what you're not seeing, because a lot of the times we're filming our own content and it's really hard for you to focus on it, like to find the things that are missing, because it's your own videos. You don't see the blind spots. So if you get somebody that's a few steps ahead of you to find that, then, you know, that could launch you, like, save you a year, like really save you a year of just making videos. I see so many videos that I know why they flop for other people, and it's harder when it's myself. So if you don't have anyone around you, I can help you with that. There's a link in the description which you can click on. Just book a call and I can help you look at your blind spots and tell you what to improve. So if you're interested, you can do that. But if you find somebody else around you that's into YouTube, just ask them. They could potentially help you. But if you don't, just book a call with me or somebody else. But just surround yourself with people that are interested in YouTube, that hopefully are a few steps ahead of you. And it's always better to get people that are a few steps ahead of you, not somebody that's already made it 10 years ago, that has millions of subscribers, that doesn't even remember what it was like to get 5 or 10 views. I certainly remember, and it wasn't fun. So maybe I'm your person. If I'm not, that's alright, but just find yourself somebody that can help you improve, and improve by yourself as well. The next thing is confidence. I remember, and I've told this story many times before on this channel, but I'll repeat it anyway. When I first started filming this video, or my very first YouTube channel, I got my phone and I put it on shoeboxes. I had a cupboard behind me that was shut, and I didn't have a mic. I started to film and it was horrible. Like, everything about that video was bad. There was nothing in that video that was interesting at all. I was just saying that this channel was about, I can't even remember what. And the lighting was off. It was super dark. I had the light on, so it was kind of yellow. It wasn't good either. My confidence was at its lowest, just like anybody that starts, but probably worse than that. Like, I didn't know what to say. I knew what I wanted to say. I didn't know how to get myself to say anything. It was super short, probably like 30 or 45 seconds. Less than a minute for sure. Like, everything in that video was bad. And I think that getting yourself to film your first video is something that's just, it's a huge stepping stone for the rest. And once you film that first video, the second one is 100 times easier than the first one. And then it's not as big of a deal, but like your first video is super hard to film. But once you've done that, it's just about consistency, consistently posting, consistently filming. And that's when you get yourself to produce better and better videos. Even like, you should focus on making your videos better, but even if you don't, your videos will get better. Like for the first 30 or 40 videos, even if you don't try to improve, you will. Probably 100 videos really. To get yourself to say what you want to say, to be yourself, to talk about the things that you want to say, and close the gap between who you are in your private life and who you are on camera. And when, as much as you close that gap, that's going to help you to like transform your videos. Like talk about the things that you would talk to with your friends that you're too scared to talk about on camera. Bring that together. Bring that and make it as close as possible, and people will just instantly connect and click with that. So consistency on filming is just what's going to make your videos 10 times better, and also closing the gap between who you are in private and who you are on camera. The next thing is what you want to be known for. I want to be known for somebody that creates videos that are genuinely helping people to get to the next level with YouTube. I want to be known for somebody that you can connect with, that's deeply personal, that's super transparent and honest on his videos, and just somebody that is actually creating a community of people that are engaging with their content, and hopefully be able to create a great business out of YouTube. And that's my example, and your example could be completely different, and that's okay. You don't have to be the same as everybody else. In fact, you shouldn't. You should really be yourself. Don't try to copy somebody that you look up to. I think a lot of people try to do that, and I certainly have been guilty of this a lot. Like, you look up to certain people and you try to be like them. But if you try to do that, you're not yourself, and people can sense that. So just be yourself and ask yourself what you want to be known for, and dig into that. What you want to be known for, and make your videos accordingly to that. That is how you're going to train the algorithm, which the algorithm is just people on the other side of the screen. So, or the lens if you're filming. So make your videos to help the people that you want to help, to be known for the things that you want to be known for, and people will react to that. They'll find interest in you, they'll find out what it's about, what your videos are about, and that in turn will train the almighty algorithm that everybody's talking about. That doesn't really matter. It's not about SEO, it's not about all that jazz. It's all about connecting with somebody on the other side of the screen. You could have the worst SEO in the world. If you make great videos with, you do need to have titles and thumbnails that are click-worthy. But if you do that, you could make YouTube really work, even though the SEO wasn't as good. So don't worry too much about the SEO. Well, worry about it a little bit. But the most important part is building the relationship that you want to be known for on the other side of the screen. The next thing is build genuine relationships. When I see comments on my videos, first of all, it makes me happy. I'm grateful for every single comment that I get. But also, it's important to have that and to build relationships, to know your audience. When I see comments like that, I learn a little bit about somebody's audience. Sometimes I click, and you guys might not know this, but sometimes I click on your username and I'll check out your channel. If you have videos, I'll just, hover over it. I won't spend hours on it, But it's always nice to see who's talking to you. Who are the people on the other side of the screen? What are their struggles? And sometimes I have people that comment that struggle with their YouTube channel. And it's always hard for me to give them something that's genuinely helping them, because it's just a comment. So it's sometimes I'll say like, maybe look at this could be a point that you should look up to. And I want to say 1,000 different things, which I can't unless they book a call. But still, I try to help them to know who you are, to respond. Like, responding to comments is the ultimate game for me, to just know your audience and build real relationships. Sometimes I see people that comment several times and I recognize that. I'm like, that's cool. That's, we're building something, because every time they comment, I reply. Sometimes they reply back and then I again reply. And I just enjoy that. I think that's one of the most fun parts about YouTube, is just knowing your audience. But it's also something that could help you in the long run to build real relationships and not just be the one, like the superstar on the other side of the screen. Just be somebody it's a back and forth. YouTube is a lot about you like being a presenter, if you will. But also, if you can have the other way around as well, that's like the ultimate cheat code to knowing your audience, improving your videos, building real communication or relationships with your audience. All of that is, for me, super important, and it should be for you if you're a content creator. Your videos can genuinely help people. When I first started, I didn't realize this, because I was making a YouTube channel about building a YouTube channel. I had 0 subscribers and 0 views. And so it can be difficult to think that, yes, I can actually help people. But what I didn't realize at that time, and I say this all the time, but I think it's important, is that I had made a video. I had posted that video online. And so I could help people that hadn't done that. Like I said earlier in the video, you don't have to be a super expert, and it's always super interesting to learn from people that are just a few steps ahead of you, that have been through what you're doing, or have been through what you're going through, rather, and get help from those people. And so, no matter what your YouTube channel is about, you can genuinely help people, and you should realize that. The day you realize that is the day that your channel will get better. You don't have to pretend to be an expert. I don't pretend that I can't lie. Like, people will see the comments that I get, the subscribers I have, the views that I get, so I can't really lie. But even if you could, don't pretend to be somebody you're not. And if you're doing something, some people haven't started, so you're ahead of them. And that goes from the day you start to do something, no matter what your YouTube channel is about, to the infinite. There'll always be people that you can help. And if you film with that intention of helping people, you'll be able to help them a lot more than you think, and you'll get comments that will say that. Hopefully I'll get comments that say that in that video. It's not in every video, but some people won't even comment, and you'll be really helping them. So if you have that in mind, you'll show up as a completely different person when you're filming. The next thing is you're planting seeds for the future. You might not realize this, but your first video is your first video is the beginning of something way bigger than you could potentially even think it was possible. When you make your first video that gets 1 view or 2 views, like me, it's really hard to think that in the future I might get a video that gets 10 views. But once you do get 10 views, you're like, it's kind of hard to get yourself to think that you could get 50 or 100. And it's just because you've planted a seed. At the beginning, your video isn't good enough to get more than 5 views. But after making several videos and improving every video and just practicing, you'll get to a point where, yes, your videos can get 100 views or 200 views or 1,000 views. But it's just a stepping stone. So once you plant seeds, it will grow. When was the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. So that's what you need to think. It's just planting seeds over and over. And after a while, you'll have a big forest that you didn't even see grow. Also, even when you're not getting views, and imagine you're never ever getting views. A YouTube video is, or making YouTube videos, is something that builds skills that you wouldn't even believe. You'll have better storytelling, public speaking. You'll be able to articulate thoughts that you potentially wouldn't have before. Sometimes you might learn a new language or become better at a new language. I saw this comment, and hi if you left that comment. Somebody that said, well, it's not my native language, but it helps me get better at speaking English. That's awesome. And there's so many skills like that that you potentially wouldn't think of. There's also like editing, learning how to edit a video, learning how to create a great title, a great intro. There's so many skills that go into YouTube that you'll have even if you're getting 0 views at all, which I don't wish for you to have that. But even if that was a potential thing, like, it would not happen. Something like that doesn't happen unless you post one video and give up. But if you post 100 videos, you'll get some views. But even if you weren't getting those views, there's so many skills that you wouldn't believe that you just acquired because you were just posting YouTube videos and you learned those skills without even thinking about it. And you might think that posting just feels like you're posting and not seeing any results, just posting into the void. And you should keep posting even though that happens. And I made a video which you can check out right here that tells you exactly why and how to navigate that part. So with that said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.